Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles, where you learn how to be the magician of your life. My name is Anna, and I'm your most favorite manifestation coach on the internet, and I'm going to explain why. Recently, I had a couple of emails and inquiries about my coaching. And as far as I can, I explain it, but I'm going to go over it again because I think some people really misunderstand what I really do here. So I will do my best to go over it in detail so that everybody understands how I'm different and why I am indeed your most favorite manifestation coach on the internet. Okay, in most cases, right, the coaches on the internet coach with emails only. Sometimes they do Zoom sessions, okay? But they do it only once a week. This has been my experience with other clients that come into my coaching who explain to me why other coaches haven't worked out for them. Okay, it just doesn't cut it to be in coaching once a week. You might as well go to a therapy session. Okay, I'm just saying it's not sufficient. What I do is drastically different, which is why I created this coaching. So let me explain again. In my coaching, whenever you book a package, which all the information is on my website below, okay? All the pricing is below. I do not give any discounts, okay? The packages are what they are. The monthly package includes 5 telephone sessions. The rest is audios and emails. So let me explain how this works, right? If you book a monthly package, which for the month of May, I allow to book 1 month at a time. Usually, if somebody wants to embark on this coaching journey with me, and you want to do the full entire coaching, which is 2 to 3 months at a time, this is the time that I really recommend, and I'm just being honest. I don't want to tell you anything that is untrue. I usually require the full amount paid up front simply because I need to square off my time, okay? I'm a very busy person. However, for the month of May, I allow to book 1 month at a time, okay? That package includes 5 telephone sessions. I start with a telephone session with you, which I record as per your permission, of course, and obviously to get to know you, to get to know the areas that you're having trouble in. After that, right, you still have 4 telephone sessions in your package, which you can use whenever you see fit. In between of those telephone sessions, we exchange audios. So, for example, you send me an audio of 20-minute max, which is the rules in my coaching. We will always start with childhood, adolescence, discussing your parents, your guardians, what have you. You tell me about your life essentially, okay? I then reply with my own audio a day or 2 later. Okay, depending on my schedule, 3 days max. Okay, so essentially we talk about 2 to 3 times a week via audios this way. You can also always reach me on text, provided it's an emergency or you have a question of some kind, okay? I politely ask that you do not text me after 11 p.m., okay, which is when I go to bed usually, and that you don't demand my answer right away. Sometimes I'm busy. I will answer you probably the next morning if it's late at night, okay? If I'm answering you, please don't take it for granted that you can text me just about any time. It has to be an emergency, okay? So I just want to emphasize that I am very different from other coaches in that you interact with me on a regular basis. Now, if you take your sweet time in answering my audio with my instruction and analysis and further instructions how to compose your next audio, and the kinds of questions I have, that's up to you. I don't have a problem. I'm not rushing you. You take your time. Some people take longer time. They have obligations, jobs, children, whatever, right? But I respond within 2 days, 2 to 3 days maximum. Okay, I go over your audio more than once. I listen to everything you say. I write out all my notes by hand. This helps me to really observe what you're saying to me, what I need to analyze, where the problem lies. This is a very thorough process, which is why it does take 2 to 3 months with me, because I really do want to do my job correctly so that you never need another coach again. Okay, this is my, objective here, right? So some people stay longer. That's up to you. Like I say, sometimes people feel like they want more information from me. They want to, have the final push. Sometimes people come back into coaching with me. All sorts of situations happen. Now, for those people who don't want to record audios on a regular basis, for whatever reason, all right, you have a package which is double the price, but you have access to me via telephone every other day. Okay, we have an hour to discuss what you need to discuss with me. Essentially, that's like 15-hour sessions a month. I record all those sessions, again, with your permission, but it's a lot more, double the price, simply because I need to actually listen through that hour audio. I always go over and then take my notes. So that requires even more of my time. That's the price, okay? Also, you have another package for those of you who want to experience my coaching, an introduction of sorts. There's a 2-week unlimited, okay, which includes 2 telephone sessions, and that's basically 2 weeks with me. Now, parenthesis here, that is not enough to actually help you, but this is for somebody, right, who wants to have an introduction into my coaching and realize that I am their answer to their problem. Another one is 5 emails and 5 audios, okay? That's, again, another introduction into my coaching. I recently reintroduced that package. It gives you 5 emails and 5 audios from me, which means you send me an audio and I send back an audio and we go back and forth. 5 audios from you, 5 audios from me, all right? Again, each audio takes me up to 2 hours to go through and take down my notes because I listen to it more than once. I don't just skip through your audio, and listen to it once and expect myself to give you proper analysis. This is not the kind of coach I am. This is not the kind of work I do. So please understand that what I do is very different from other people. Okay, I bet you those coaches don't even record anything, don't take a single note, okay? Or maybe they do, but it's not nearly as extensive as it is. You should see the clients I have, the pads, the amount of notes I keep. It's like writing a book on each person because I really care to help them precisely with what they need help with. And it's not until you really pay attention and listen, you start to really map out the person's life and personality and essentially the psyche, where you are able to pinpoint where is the problem. And that's the work I do. Okay. In my coaching, we'll do a lot of exercises once I identify your problems, and we really map out your history. We do belief work extensively. We do different exercises that help you forgive your parents. Everybody's different. I have different exercises for different people, but essentially at the end of my coaching, you leave as a brand new person. You have the instruction on how to be that brand new person who's going to create and manifest what it is you want to manifest, whether that's SP, your brand new house, your career, this and that. Now, it's very important for me to point out, okay, that you need to come humble and prepared to do the work. If you're going to be lazy, if you're not going to show up prepared, willing to do the work, the exercises, willing to understand that sometimes I may hurt your feelings in that I am very direct. Now, I'm not going to be disrespectful towards you. It's not like that at all. I'm simply going to give you the truth like it is. Okay? I'm going to be very straightforward and I'm going to give you my absolute honest opinion. Now, you can get offended or you can take it to the bank and understand that I'm here to help you, to realize your potential. If you're going to start rebuttaling me, start getting offended, start being defensive, this and that, you know what? It's not going to work. I'm not saying that you don't have the opportunity to express yourself and maybe say, well, you don't understand where I'm coming from. Maybe you misunderstood me. No, it's not like that. But if I'm giving you my honest, educated opinion and I'm saying, you know what, this is where your problem is and I think we need to fix it. And if you say, no, I don't have any problems, we don't have a conversation. I'm okay with a discussion with my clients, and we have those discussions all the time. All right? But if you, like, point blank, tell me you have no problems, you're not to blame for any of your manifestations, there's no work to be done, and you know what? You might as well give up right now, then you know what? Don't even come into my coaching. Because I don't have the time for it. You have problems because something is out of alignment. There's work to do. Very few people have come into my coaching with that attitude, but I just want to inform those who don't have that humility, don't have that to earth personality where they can admit that their manifestations are their own creations, and let's examine how and why. Okay, very important. If you say that your life is hunky-dory and nobody's to blame, I mean, you're not to blame for anything in your life, well, I wish you good luck and I hope you find the help that you need, but I am not your answer. Absolutely not. I command for the people in my coaching, they need to accept responsibility after we go through their history and understand where everything came from. There is a certain part of you that needs to accept responsibility for what you created. All right, without that there will be no progress. It just won't be. I understand certain things happen, this and that, some things were out of your control. At the end of the day, though, you're an adult and you need to accept responsibility for the things that you've created thus far. And lastly, I want to say this, okay? And I know this is very long, but I really needed to explain this again because I'm getting emails and people asking me the same questions, all right? You can hire me for an hour to establish whether or not I am your kind of coach. There's that. You can also hire me once in a while for an hour and discuss your problems. The idea, though, is my responsibility to let you know that ultimately to be helped 100%, you need to spend 2 to 3 months in coaching with me, okay? And like I said, you can hire me for a month. For the month of May, I'm giving you this opportunity. For the month of May, you can hire me a month and you can renew at the end of the month because, like I said, I recommend 2 to 3 months. Alternatively, you can get the package that is 5 and 5, which is 5 emails and 5 audios. You can hire me for an hour to establish I'm your kind of coach. And there's also a crash course for one, which is basically do it yourself. So I'm giving you a lot of options here so that you can really be helped. But ultimately, coaching one-on-one in private is what I recommend. If you have any questions, please email me to pre-book. Use my website, but I prefer Cash App or Zelle, however you pronounce it. All right. Thank you very much. Again, if you have any questions, please email me below. Okay. Today's subject is how to create a new version of your SP. So a lot of people come to my coaching because they watch my SP videos. And a lot of people come into my coaching because they have SP problems. And so I'd like to discuss this in a way, again, that I hope lands with people a lot more poignantly, a lot more direct. So the idea here is that you had an SP and something went awry, or they turned into somebody that you didn't want them to turn into, or in the first place, you created them to be a certain way that you didn't like for them to be. Okay, so first of all, the responsibility for your creation, for the initial creation, is of paramount importance. Otherwise, you can't go anywhere from that, right? So I already explained that. You need to understand you're the God of your reality. Nobody's separate from you. You live in the bubble of your creation 24/7. From morning till night, you wake up in the morning, you go to sleep at night, you eat your food, you work, you look outside the window, you walk in the street, this and that. This entirety of creation is your own. You created the original SP literally from scratch. Whether consciously or unconsciously, you created him or her down to their hair color, their eye color, what they do for a living, how they behave, where they came from, their character, this and that. You literally are like a person in a laboratory creating your life. How do you create your life? With your feelings, with your emotions, with your ideas. So before you met your SP, this old version that is, you were in some type of a mood. You were contemplating certain ideas. Maybe you were yourself in a funk, in the middle of a crisis. Something that went out into the universe, some ideas, some energies that you were contemplating, that you were feeling went out into the universe and literally fabricated this person, and you rendezvoused with that person in your life. Nothing is a coincidence. Absolutely nothing. This person is made of you, or made of your energy. Now, in some cases, when people start calling me the devil, the white witch of the West, and they tell me, Anna, this is against the law of nature or this and that. You cannot, people have free will and this and that. No, people don't have free will. Just that they didn't have any free will coming into your reality, they still don't have free will. Okay, let's just establish this once and for all. I'm tired of hearing it. Nobody has fucking free will in your life. How on earth do they have free will if you created them in the first fucking place? Do you think this person has free will? By them coming into your reality, you summoned this person to be this way. You summoned them into your reality. With your energy, with your thoughts. You created them to be exactly as they were. And if you circle back around to your past feelings, ideas, thoughts, energies, whatever was going on with you, you will understand exactly how you created this version. Chances are I'm right. No, actually, I'm always right. Thank you. So just like you created this unfavorable version of this SP, creating the new version is basically reverse engineering what you've done before. It's really simple. Now, the idea here is, right, there's two things. First of all, actually three things. One is that this does not apply to somebody who was abusive towards you. Okay, if somebody was really abusive towards you, I don't imagine you would love them back. And if you think you do, I don't recommend it. Okay, because sincerely, I don't think that anybody should go through anything like that. I don't think this is, you can forgive the person, there is that, but I don't really feel like you will ever feel like you can recreate this person. And if you do, well, I wish you good luck. I just don't think this is recommended at all. There's a certain kind of situation that changes within you, a certain vibration that changes within you once you start working on yourself, where you look back on that experience and you never want to have anything to do with people like that at all. And that's number two. You start working on yourself. You need to start working on what it is that brought you to this experience in the first place. And whether that person was abusive towards you or simply you created an unfavorable version, you created it some way, somehow. And that's really, really important to examine. And this is what I do in coaching. And number three, after you work on yourself, you get to forgive this person. Well, in both cases, you should forgive, whether they were abusive or not. But if it's just a disagreement, if it's just a misunderstanding, if it's just some kind of a drama, but it wasn't abusive, they weren't disrespectful or humiliating towards you, you get to forgive them. You get to truly forgive them and let it go. And only through this work, may I tell you, that you become, first of all, somebody different. And in doing so, have the ability to create something different than before. No abusive person will ever come into your bubble of reality. And certainly you have the power to recreate the SP that you do want to recreate. Because they were there just reflecting back to you that you had internally. Okay. In most cases, right? In most cases in my coaching, the person just got really insecure. There were some fears bubbling up, some past insecurities that were not even associated with that person. Something that they've picked up along the way in their childhood, in their adolescence, something that their mother or father instilled in them, okay? Or something that they've experienced earlier prior to that, and that impacted them so much that they've developed these insecurities. And once things were going well with that person, they got scared and they started fearing that this will not last. And, universe says your wish is my command, and there you are. The result is basically what you wished for it to be, with your energy, with your fears and doubts. Now, you don't always verbalize it, but you are instructing the universe along the way. So in the same manner that you instructed the universe through your fears and doubts and insecurities, you can now turn it around through being confident, being fearless, confronting your doubts, and understanding that you're the one in charge and you can recreate anyone, anything, any way you want. And this, again, comes through after you work on yourself. There's no magic potion. There is no magic wand. You really need to go into self-examination to understand how you create. There's nobody else to examine other than you. Okay? Your new version of SP would come back sooner if you'd let them. You're the one who's not letting it in. Why? Because they're a projection of you. So if you're in fear, if you're in doubt, if you're insecure, if you're watching 500 million videos on YouTube about SPs and you don't realize that the only person to work on is you, you know what? You're delaying all of this progress. The new version of SP can come back almost immediately if you're ready to have them back, if you're ready to be the new person that you are. If you're a new person, they're a new person. If you forgave them for their, transgressions and this and that, again, provided they were not abusive, they can become any version that you please. Any version that you please. All of a sudden, they're a brand new person. And in my coaching, we go through rescripting SPs, through scripting new versions of SPs, or just, manifesting a new SP period. And that's very important to understand what it is you want to create now. But the work, first and foremost, is you. Most people will ask me this question, and I talk about parallel realities ad nauseum on my channel, because that's the only way that the universe operates. For many people, this is a brand new concept, and they think that this is some kind of woo-woo magic bullshit. No, this is proven by physicists time and time again. And I'm not going to go into this, speech about physics over here. You're just going to have to do the research on your merry jolly time or come into coaching with me. But essentially, without parallel realities, there would be no movement. You would be stuck in one frame forever. The very reason you have movement, the very reason you experience change of seasons, a different day of the week, a different hour. The very reason you're able to even hear my voice is because we travel through billions of parallel realities per second. Okay? And this is not just Bashar. This has been proven by physicists. When Einstein said that time does not exist, this is what he meant. Because time really doesn't exist. All that does exist is separate parallel realities that are very similar to each other. And you are such a genius that you travel through those parallel realities effortlessly so, without even understanding that you do. Now, all that you need to do, and for some people it's like completely hard and incomprehensible, is to jump to a parallel reality of your preference. And then in that parallel reality of your preference, your SP is a different version. You want them to change their behavior, they can change their behavior. You want them to go from an asshole to a very nice person, they can do that. You don't have to devise any kind of way for them to change that, to change in that way. You just have to make a decision. And you yourself have to become a version of person that will attract that person. If you're staying in your corner and complaining and whining and being bitter and whatever, there is no way to attract for you the new version. There just isn't. There's no correspondence between the two. You need to change your mind so that the entirety of the universe changes their mind. That's it. So if, like this morning, you woke up and you started thinking new thoughts about your SP, they're becoming a new version. They're literally a new version. It's not the same person. Okay, again, parallel realities each come with a new version of person. Some of them slightly different and some of them altogether different. And so it's up to you how far you want to jump, how far of a reality you want to jump. And of course, this has to do with belief. And the other day, Vedrana asked me, on the subscriber on my channel, asked me a question. How do you delete memories from somebody's mind? Well, I've done this several times. It's not as hard as you'd think, actually. It has to do with parallel realities. And it has to do with the mechanism of parallel realities, but it also has to do with belief, with the confidence. If you don't believe you can do it, you can fucking forget it. It's over. But if you work on yourself and you understand that you're the only one in charge and you can delete memories, undelete memories, go back and forth between realities, you can stop the time, you can, create a new version of your SP that is completely different in character. You can create a confirmation for yourself, like a sign. You can create money out of thin air you don't have to work for. All these things, it's up to you. But you have to have the confidence to create it. And many people say, well, I don't think so. I don't think I can create it. Well, bingo then. That's why you don't create it. If you just sat in your bed for like a week and did absolutely nothing but go to the bathroom and eat your food, all right? I'm just going to an extreme example here. And all you did was just use your brain, use your mind to create things. You would achieve more than any person who runs around and tries to convince people and acts in 3D to manipulate things and to get things. True story. Try it out. Now watch out. People were gonna come and tell me, you know what, I tried this and nothing happened. Yeah, because you don't believe it could. You don't. But if you did, it would. Because people would just come to you. They would just come to you. Your SP would start calling you or texting you. Or everybody's so obsessed about this bullshit. Texting and calling. What's that? That's just the beginning. Oh my God. What about a partnership? What about a marriage? What about having fun discussions? What about them being a totally different person? Something that would completely spook you. Texting and calling. So what? They might text you and call you and still deliver the same kind of bullshit you used to from before. That's nothing. That's absolutely nothing. You deserve something grand. Always ask for more. Always ask for more, bigger and better. Ask for something so incredible that it would literally blow your fucking mind. Just literally blow your fucking mind. Like erasing memory out of somebody's memory. But you have to be intentional about it. It takes confidence and intention. Yes, I can erase that memory out of their mind. They'll never remember it again. Done. What did I do? I just jumped into a parallel reality where they don't remember what I just said, or what happened before, this and that. I can recreate it many times over. It's you're operating from the premise thinking that 3D is real, and that's all there is to it. That's it. It's just going to be the rest of my life. Just going to continue like this day after day. Wrong. Again, you're traveling through billions of parallel realities every second of your day. How many times do I have to say this? It's different universes you're traveling through, different realities and different outcomes. Now, they look very similar because, let's face it, if in the next second something completely different would be in front of your eyes, you'd go bananas. So universe is benevolent. It gives you a chance to be sane. Sorry. Because it doesn't want to spook you. It wants you to be your best, essentially, right? But creating a new version of your SP is as easy as pie. If you want to. Again, if you want to. Some people don't. Some people have come into my coaching and said, you know what, after all, nah, not really. I want somebody new. And that's good too. But here's parenthesis here, right? If you choose to go that route, be sure that you did the work on yourself. Because guess what? New person, old problems. If you don't do the work on yourself, it's like over and over again, you encounter the same bullshit, right? Why is that? Because it's not about that person at all. It has never been about that person. It's about you. It's about what you decide that happens. So if you decide that person is a brand new version of themselves, that they're bringing you flowers, that they're being thoughtful now, they're all about you, they hang on your every word, they're extremely kind, they've changed. They've completely changed. You don't know, maybe the lightning hit them on the head, but you don't care. That's just what you decided. Okay, you decided this is a different person now, and they're a different person now. I've done this many different ways in my personal life, in my client's life. It just works, but if you believe it. Now, obviously, if you've had many examples in the past where nothing like that ever happened to you, there's some work to be done, and that's understandable. Perfectly so. But again, the way to create this confidence, it starts small, creating little miracles. When people call it miracles, it's kind of like saying, I don't have the power. But if you call yourself the creator of your life, the God of your reality, it's not a fucking miracle, okay? It's a creation. You created something. You didn't call it a miracle when that person was a jerk to you, right? So why are you calling it a miracle when they're all of a sudden nice to you? It's the same thing. It's just a creation. You just choose what to create next. That's all. And so in conclusion, this new version of SP hasn't come back to you yet, hasn't materialized yet, and hasn't come back to you yet. Simply because you've instructed your universe that they are still the same way, and they're not coming back. And while you're busy watching 500 million YouTube videos, you ought to tune that shit out and start working on yourself. Because the entire universe is just waiting for you to get your shit together and start believing in yourself as a creator. And stop regurgitating what happened. Stop giving away your power to this one and that one and the other one. And start deciding what will happen next. And that's all you really have to do. Sounds simple, but it's not easy. Thank you very much for listening. If you have any questions, comment below or email me. Thank you, and ciao, ciao.